Good morning, folks. You're tuned to Car Connection, where the coffee's strong, the stories are real, and the wrenches never stop turning. I'm your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you from the Car Connection workshop, where the smell of fresh oil, a little elbow grease, is all part of our balanced breakfast. Around here, we don't just talk cars, we live them. Whether it's a 25-year-old Jeep Wrangler getting a second chance at life, or a Nissan Rogue getting its brakes back in order. Perhaps even a mystery leak that's got everyone scratching their heads. This is where we roll up our sleeves and we get it done. With a little wit, a little wisdom, and a whole lot of fun. The Car Connection isn't just about nuts, bolts, and diagnostics. It's about connection. Connection to our vehicles and to the people who drive them, and to the community that keeps Niagara rolling. Because when you fix a car, you're not just turning a wrench. You're restoring someone's confidence, freedom, and maybe even their sanity. We're here every week, Monday through Saturday, with Motormouth Morning Drive, helping you keep your ride safe, reliable, and ready for whatever road lies ahead. So whether you're a weekend renter, daily commuter, or someone who just wants to understand what that strange rattle really means, welcome aboard. Good morning to all of you. Stick around for some shop talk, expert advice, a few good laughs, and maybe even a flashback story from the service bays. They do occur without warning, like lightnings. How many in the Niagara region yesterday saw the amazing lightning storm? Yeah, I was under the bed. Yeah, after the first lightning strike, it was pretty close. It was actually very close to the Car Connection studio yesterday morning. Well, we made it to the weekend. Everybody, I hope you're all doing really, really well. It's been a hot, steamy week, hasn't it? I think this is the first one in the bag for summer 2026. And I'll tell you, any problems with the cars? Anybody? Hopefully not. Remember, mileage doesn't matter. Maintenance does. No matter what language, no matter what country you're in. If you don't feel good about maintaining it and fixing it, then you probably shouldn't have it. And at some point, you probably won't. Hey, thanks for tuning in this morning to Motormouth's Morning Drive. Let's get started. We have a lot to get through. It's Saturday morning. It's weekend. And the coffee's not quite on yet. I have to get through my herbal magic here, whatever that is. Been messing with it a little bit. Got a different ingredient in there this morning. Kind of trying to tweak it up a little bit. But it deals with the cortisol things, whatever they are. Make you fat. That's all I know. Haven't really studied it. You ever wondered? There's things that you should know, but you don't want to know because then you will know. And then it won't be comfortable. Well, that's vehicle maintenance. So if that's you and you want to know how to keep a vehicle running longer and give it super duper longevity, that's why I'm here. Because I can show you and teach you how to do it. I can show you on our YouTube channel and teach you right here on the podcast how you can very, very easily perform that on any automobile, even problematic vehicles. We can get past it, over it, under it, and round it. Well, we've got our morning swiggy coming up. We do have 3 amazing questions, and I have to say this. Fellas, where are you when it comes to your questions? But I'll tell you this. The ladies are really smoking your backsides. They have some amazing questions every single week. Once in a while, we have a fella in there. But I'll tell you this. Anytime I go to an event or doing an event, a fundraising event, wherever I am on location, you fellas don't leave me alone for the whole time I'm there. Can I just ask a question? Do you mind if I ask, hey, what do you think this is? That's what I get all day long. Do you mind can you take a question today? Do you have time for a question? See, and the ladies are out there enjoying the foodie trucks and the things on display and the events going on from the main stage, while the guys are gathering around me to ask their questions. But the ladies are out having fun because they send me emails and they ask their questions ahead of time. I'm just saying, fellas. I'm just saying. I remember the first 7 years on the air in a network out of Buffalo, the ladies owned the show. When the phone lines opened to take calls and questions, there wasn't a fella in sight for 7 years. Those ladies would call in and absolutely not embarrassed to make the sound their vehicle's making, ask the question, throw it on the table, and get an answer. For 7 years straight, from 1996, count 7 years forward, the ladies owned the live call-in automotive program called Car Connection, one of the largest FM stations this side of the Mississippi River. It was crazy. And even my producer would say, like, where's the fellas? Where are they? I go, I don't know. I guess this, the ladies really want their vehicles taken care of. And so they should. And the reason behind that is, guys, you're not the gals. The gals don't want to be broken down somewhere in a very compromising area or whatever. That's very intimidating. For the fellas, you only blow a gasket when your car lets you down after you've been treating it like a bad donkey, and then you lose it. Exactly. This is just call this the Motormouth conclusion after 44 years in the service bays and still going. This is what I noticed. The guys, they blow a gasket. The gals, they don't want to get there. They want their car taken care of and know that they have a reliable means of transportation. And that's what it's all about for me, is to help you get there. For those who want to do that, I have the game plan if you're willing to listen. The do does and the did is done. So for those who just want to drive their cars into the ground and bury it right in there like a worm, this probably is not the program for you. Probably not. So let's get through the housekeeping tips. We got a lot of miles to cover this morning and another summer Motormouth tech tip coming up entitled Battery Blues in the Heat. That's right. You can lose a battery this time of year just as fast as you can in the middle of January. Absolutely. So we're going to cover that off this morning as well. I got 3 questions in from Kathleen, Margaret, and Gina. So well done, you. They understood the idea. You got to have your questions in by noon on Fun Friday. That gives me the afternoon to sift all the questions that have come in and pull out what I think would be the most interesting. Not to say that your ladies, hey, don't stop, that your question's not important, just that I look for questions that could help a large group of people, and I don't throw those questions out. I will pull them forward and use them on Saturday's Q&A program with Motormouth. So that's what we're all about here. Saturdays, we've made it to Saturday, and Saturday is questions and answers that you send in. So it gives me an opportunity to do that. We're just looking, and when I say we, it's me, myself, and I, bringing guests on with me, because there's a lot of people that I think you would find very interesting in their line of profession. And that's from technicians to other tradesmen, tradespeople. Yeah, tradespersons. No, it's tradesmen. We leave it at that. And so I've got all the plans coming together, including the hookup with the gear. It looks like we have everything we need to make that happen. Or now that we've got 200 episodes of this morning, the morning drive with Motormouth in the bag, and we're working on season 3 now. Today would be episode 208. All the podcasts populate into our YouTube channel. So it's Niall Motormouth Jenkins, or simply land on our homepage. Here's the thing about our website, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. You will find all the project details and links available to you at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. The short form is ccbusnet.com. You'll find everything on our homepage if you'd like to follow the build and repair work that we do and connect with our program partners simply by clicking on their logo, it will highlight and create a square box. So that's when you know it's ready to click. So click and meet and greet our program partners, because simply without them, we wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be possible. They're helping us to stay ahead of the costs to produce the videos and produce the podcasts, and to put all the hours in to continue to push us forward to monetization. And once we get there, we can only get there with your help. And that's why I'm saying that. So right now, we've been blessed that 4 of our program partners stayed with us for the transition from radio into digital. And it's amazing to have great people and great business owners like I talk about them. And I love talking about them because they've been with us for a very long time. So anyone who thinks that I yak too much, you go from talk radio from 31 years to podcast radio. It's talk radio. I'm just saying. So if that annoys you, and annoys you that I talk about our program partners, you have to. Every program you watch, unless you're getting an invoice in your mailbox or email, someone is behind the scenes making that program available to you for free. So we need to make sure that we respect that. It's very, very important. So thank you to City Auto Sales, our certified financial planning professionals, Niagara Block, and Total Freedom Darien Center in New York for making Car Connection possible and standing behind us till we get where we're going. So let's kick it into high gear this morning. So on the home page, our program partners there, and that make YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Stevensvilleontheweb.ca, iHeartRadio. We're on every platform, including Podbean, Apple, Spotify, Amazon. So wherever you're pulling your podcast from, just type Car Connection Workshop in the search bar and you'll find us. When the broadcast here is scheduled and loaded and it launches on iHeart through the RSS feed, they automatically load into our YouTube channel. So if you miss something, you can pick it up same day right on our YouTube channel on the home page, and all those links are for you, placed at the top right-hand corner of the home page at ccbusnet.com, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. And thank you for all those who are giving your business to our program partners. That means a huge amount. We need them, and we also need you too. And again, if you haven't subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, would you do that? Take a moment to do that and help Skippy and I give us a big boost. We've just reached the halfway mark to our first 1,000 subscribers, and that is the Rubicon. We've crossed the Rubicon. Now we need to get to the 1,000 subscriber mark for everything to change for us to be able to do a whole lot more and reach larger audiences. That's how the algorithms work. So for us, it's so important that you subscribe. So we're at about still about 71% of you are enjoying our videos and the content and the podcast, but you're not subscribed. So that doesn't help us. So if you take a moment sometime this weekend or this week and subscribe, like, share, follow, leave a comment, and, share us with your buddies that are car enthusiasts, or even the gals that, they're taking care of their own automobile and they could use some pointers to prevent from getting ripped off out there in the service bays. Because that's what I've heard for 32 years now. Can you check this invoice for me, Motormouth, and see if everything is copacetic? That they didn't overcharge me for something or didn't do something that they said they did. And I can prevent all that from happening by having you join us in the podcast and watch what I do in the service bays for basic vehicle ownership fundamentals. So learning the basics is what you're going to get out of every single one of our YouTube videos. The 5 things: what it is, where it is, how it works, how you broke it, and how we can show you how to prevent that from happening again so you pay for it another time. And right now, with the first hot, steamy week, many of you are figuring out that your air conditioning may not necessarily be working as well as it should. That's why I put together early in the spring season a 4-series tutorial on air conditioning right here on the morning drive with Motormouth. So those are all posted up on our YouTube channel. If you want to go to iHeartRadio, you'll find us there. Again, you'll find us on all podcast platforms. I've been receiving a bunch of emails. Do you have any merch available? Yes, we do. We have Freedom Expressions as our store. It's online, top right-hand corner of our homepage. Go in there. You can shop till you drop, and everything pays safely online, and everything you order gets shipped directly to your door. All the proceeds we roll back to Total Freedom Addiction Campuses Canada and USA, where what they do is help those who are ready to take on and battle their addiction and change their life. That's what they do there for 25 years at those campuses. So Skippy and I said we don't want to take a nickel from that, even though we could really, really use it to help us move forward. We'd much rather feel good about ourselves standing up and saying, hey, we're going to help you get to one of those campuses. So stand with us by buying our merchandise and showing it off. That's it. Wear it. Wear it and send us a selfie. All right, let's press on this morning. So again, all our links, top right-hand corner. If you missed that, I'll talk about it a little later on in the program. But we've got Q&A to get through. We've got our morning swiggy. We've got weekend weather and our Motormouth summer tech tip. Battery blues in the heat. I had a battery fail midsummer without warning. It proved itself to be good in October, and about this time last year, the first or second week of July, boom, I go to the dollar store. It always costs me $20 more at the dollar store. Am I the only one? You go in the dollar store, you go, I need 2 items. Do you come out with 2 items? I don't. So there you go. The dollar store is kind of my kryptonite. It really is. I have to be prepared for that one. So let's get into it. On 3, 2, 1, we're going to have our swiggy this morning together. So whatever your morning beverage is, you got it? Are you on your second one yet? Well, that's great. I'm not even finished my first one. I got to finish my first one before I can have coffee. So let's say thank you to our friends and next generation at Niagara Block. Kathy, Dave, and Dan Grimo, fantastic people working to build Canada since 1931. They're located at 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls. Call them today if you're looking at a building project, maybe a man cave garage, workshop, whatever it may be. They make building blocks right there. Cinder blocks of all types and descriptions. They have the metal and rebar and all those things that you need to reinforce the building. But if you're looking to create a beautiful backyard landscape, you know, that area where you kind of want to hide out and just be, yeah, I have one of those spaces at home, and it's invaluable. It really is. Prevents me from hurting people. Absolutely. Excuse me, I'm still suffering with pollens. It comes and goes. So for hardscape landscaping materials, they've got everything you need to create that beautiful backyard space that you've always wanted, that oasis. So connect with them, and Kathy Grimo has a list of contractors she can help you with if you need someone to come out and estimate, put the project together, get it started, get it finished so you can enjoy that space. She has that. So check in with Kathy Grimo at the front office and have a look at all the beautiful materials that they have to create that very special place for you, your family, your neighbors, your peeps, your circle of friends, and just have a gathering and a barbecue. Put on the barbecue and slap some meat on there. So thank you to Kathy, Dave, and Dan. Kathy and Dave, husband and wife team. Dan is the brother. Wonderful people. Wonderful people. So connect with them, and thank you for doing that. On 3, 2, 1. You ready? It's swiggy time. 3, 2, 1. What's floating in there? I better not say it too loud. Maybe everybody will want that. What did I put in there? I don't know. There's floaties. Oh, I know what I did. I was drying some herbs. I thought maybe I should just crush up a peppermint leaf and throw that in there. That's what's floating in there right now. Well, let's jump into the weekend weather, shall we? See what's going to happen. Yeah, we've had some weird weather blow through here. Yesterday, a wicked storm yesterday morning. It was bizarro. The rain came in sideways, and boy, did it ever put down some water in a very short period of time, and the lightning bolts were crazy. The sky was very dark, and I started saying Annie M. I think I saw Toto pass the window a couple times. So here's what we got for today, for Saturday, 71 degrees right now and cloudy. Wind is making it feel cooler, about 70 degrees. Rainy conditions expected around 2 p.m. Today's temperature range is 70 to 81 degrees. Yesterday we tapped out at 85 for the high. Today looking like 81, and on the rainometer, the RAIN, it's got us at 0.4 of an inch. And yesterday I got some questions for the weather dudes. We got like 2 inches of rain in literally less than 15 minutes yesterday. The south shores of Lake Erie. And I'll tell you, the skies came over so black and scary moving. It was like, yeah, I think I'm going under the bed for a second time. Let's have a look, see what's happening tomorrow, shall we? It is weekend weather by all means. Yellow warning heat in the Niagara region. That starts 4:32 a.m. Saturday, July 4th. Hey, happy July 4th for our friends to the south, our American friends. And I say that and mean that. They are our friends. Absolutely. 100%. I was talking to the Americans yesterday. 0.25 of an inch for tomorrow. So be prepared. Sunday's low is going to be 68. Good sleeping weather there. Give the air conditioner a break between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. So you're going to have to sleep fast for sure. And the high will be 80 tomorrow for Sunday between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. So the temperature range will feel like 68 to 79 degrees. Wind will be making it feel cooler than the actual temperatures. So that's your weekend weather, brought to you by our certified financial planning professionals, Tony Miele and Larry Tetro. 50 years plus experience with IG Wealth Management, one of the major companies in the world, managing trillions of dollars for others, and they can be doing that for you. So if you have financial issues, financial woes at home, or questions, it's time now to get clarity instead of doing what I call the opinion poll. Opinion polls on anything will get you deeply in trouble every single time. And I'm speaking for myself. I have certain people that if I have an idea, I purposely arrange to have an hour and a coffee with them to bounce my idea off of them. What I'm looking for is for them, these specific people, if they say, Motormouth, that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard of, I go, thank you, I gotta go. Is that the time? Because they just gave me the answer. And what they don't realize is I've been doing that for decades with these guys. They say, that's the stupidest idea, that's the dumbest idea. That's what I want to hear, because then I know it's going to work. Method to the madness. You have to. So with Tony and Larry, you can keep your money at home, leave your wallet and your purse at home. Here's what I would highly recommend. If you got questions regarding, you've got some investments somewhere, if they're with the bank, you need to get out now so that money's working hard for you. If you're drowning in debt and you feel like there's no way out, or estate planning, you have nothing planned, should you go to your great reward, you've got nothing solid on paper, and that's not something you want to play with and mess around with. It's like building an engine. You certainly do not want to just throw it together. You need to be good at math and measurements and follow the plan to build that engine so that it lasts for years. So estate planning, fellas and fellettes, don't go get one of those packages and it's a do-it-yourself thing. That will get you deeply in trouble and really tick off those people you leave behind, because it turns into a nightmare. If you need to arrange a mortgage, you don't have any life insurance or critical illness insurance. And here's the thing about insurance, folks, even car insurance, but don't get me started on that. Here's the thing. Insurance may seem like an expense till that moment you need it. It's a wise investment. I'll use my friend Jen, who just got burned out of her rental right down the street from us just a number of weeks back, and all her things got destroyed. Yep. But you know what? She had a tenant's package, an insurance package, tenant's package. So they have to pay her out for all her stuff she lost. Is that a wise investment? Could you instantly put that into a power play? Hey, my place is on fire, and I'll sign that contents insurance package right now. Folks, don't go there. Insurance is something that we just have to get used to, and it pays out when you need it, and it pays those to carry on if something should happen to you. If you pass away suddenly, and it happens, folks. And I hear about it from Tony and Larry in some very sad situations. So don't be those people. Get that hour and a coffee, get your questions answered, no obligation, but it will bring clarity to your specific situation. Help to get you on a proper budget so you not only can pay for the next vehicle you need to purchase, but to also be able to maintain it and maintain it properly, because you have a financial structure. That's what you need. In order to keep a car and keep a vehicle healthy, you need a financial structure. You've got to be prepared for those rainy days. I think I've heard that somewhere before. Rainy day, yes, rainy day people. I don't know what that means. Anyways, that's out of my league. But I would highly recommend connect with Tony or Larry. And I'll tell you, I've known these guys 20 years. I've seen what they've been able to do for friends and family and myself. Just get it done. Stop stewing about it. Don't listen to the outside noise. Oh, they're just going to take your money. Those people, they don't have a plan. Those that speak like that, they don't have a plan, and they don't want you to have a plan either. Why? Because you'll be better than they are. This is the way people think. There's no cheerleaders anymore. Nobody's pushing you up the ladder, edging you forward. Others don't seem to want to see you do well because it makes them look bad. My professor taught me that many years ago. He said, Motormouth, nobody's going to help you get to that next rung on the ladder but you. And don't lose your faith. You can get there and do it honestly. But you're going to have people pulling on your legs to pull you down the ladder. That's where the problem comes in. And I go, well, why would they want to do that? He said it's simple. Because if you get one up on them, you make them look bad. And they don't want you to make them look bad. So they'll be hanging off your legs while you're trying to get to the next rung on the ladder and make your way up. They don't want you to get there. That's why people are jealous of one another, and it causes lots of rifts. I see it with automobiles for all these years. Neighbors don't talk to you anymore because you got a new car and they don't. And that should have been their car, but they didn't have the money to get it. So don't be that person. Don't be that person. We need to be each other's cheerleader. And if you can help push somebody forward, stinking do it, would you? Just do it. Watch what happens and how you feel. That's the whole purpose of our YouTube channel. I got a call yesterday, a gentleman that helped us get started. I haven't seen him for over a year. He said, hey, can you help me out? I said, of course I can. Yeah. I said, can you take me on vacation too? No. They're leaving a car behind that's sick, that needs some help. So that's what it's all about, folks. Be somebody else's cheerleader. And I'll tell you, with Tony Miele and Larry Tetro, you've got two guys that are going to take you right to the top. That's what they do. They'll show you how, teach you how, and they will coach you all the way. So that the problems, when there's problems with the car, problems with the home, problems that need to be, it takes money to make those problems go away, you've got two fantastic coaches available at your fingertips. Take advantage of that. That's where I'm going with that. Take advantage of that to get your house in order. That's what it's all about. You've got to get your house in order. That's everything, including finances, fixing, and maintenance for every single thing that's in that home, including the people. Take good care of yourself, because I've got some people in my circle that their health is really sucking right now. I mean, it's really not good. And, they trade places with you any day of the week. If you're healthy, they trade places with you any day of the week because things aren't going good. So let's jump into that. Those are things to think about, things to ponder. Okay, we got some amazing questions. Let's jump into the questions right now. I got to unpack those. So get your crayons ready and your leaf bag so you can take some notes. If you can't, you can listen and re-listen on the podcast, or you can just simply subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you are subscribed and you don't have a maintenance plan, I have it all put together for you. We've completely revamped the car connection maintenance system. I've called it the fleet maintenance system because whether you have one car or 10 cars, it calls out everything as far as maintenance on the whole gamut. So the whole fleet can be in there. If you have young people at home that have their own vehicles, get them a car connection maintenance system so that they can actually learn vehicle ownership right from the very beginning. Am I the only one that ever noticed that, they don't teach kids about money in school anymore? Economics. We had economics classes. You ever wondered why they're not teaching that to kids, but all this other garbage and filth? That's where I'm going to put it. It's rubbish. They're teaching them rubbish. Why aren't they teaching them about economics? How to be successful, how to run your finances, how to run a budget. You ever wondered about that? Because I do. I think on those things and I go, these are things that help me through my life. The rubbish they're trying to put down in the schools today, I'll tell you, if I had kids in the schools, I would blow a freaking O-ring, let me tell you. I'd be in their face night and day. They'd be sick and tired of seeing my face because you ain't teaching my kid any of that garbage. That's for sure. Anyways, don't get me started on that one. But anyways, that's for another day. Just imagine. Yeah, that stuff really cheeses me off. So questions and answers. All the questions are fabulous. Thanks again, Kathleen, Margaret, and Gina for taking time to send your questions in. First question out of the gate. How often should brakes be replaced? And how long do they last? Time or mileage? Well, I'll tell you what, that is one of the biggest areas. I'll tell you every day, if I'm outside the front of the shop studio here, I hear vehicles. We have a bit of a busy street, and I hear vehicles going by every day that have brake problems. How do I know that? I hear the grinding. I hear scraping. Just yesterday, I heard a vehicle turn a corner, and it was like scrape, 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 scrape. I'm going, you can't hear that? I can hear it, and I'm like, I was at least 50 yards away from that vehicle turning the corner because I'm at we're on a corner. Yeah, the compound here is on a corner, And so there's vehicles coming and going from all directions. And I hear them and I'm going, man, that thing's got trubs. And that, the longer you keep pushing it, honey, this is just, cha-ching. It's just costing you more buka bucks. So how do you determine how long your brakes are going to last? Well, it comes down to one word: maintenance. And you could put in there service. Either one works. But if you think that, your vehicle's in for a brake job yesterday, that, hey, Joe, I'll see you when I see you, then that's where the brakes won't give you a break. They need to be serviced. And I'm going to use myself as an example, and I hope it pokes you a little bit right in the chest. How? Here's a question. Put that in the comments section on the YouTube channel, because last year we had the Brake Nationals going, and it's kicking off again. We're having a repeat of the Summer Brake Nationals, and vehicles are in the queue to come in, and we'll shoot some more videos for more brake work. And you may go on our YouTube channel, go, more brake work. He always seems to be shooting brake work. Well, the question in your head should be just that. Why is Motormouth always shooting and videoing brake work? Wonder why that is. Well, you can always ask me a question, because in all the descriptions of the YouTube videos and the podcasts, I put my email in there. You have two choices. And send your email in and ask me the question, because that should be the question that you're really asking me. Why does he talk about brakes often? Because exactly what I told you. I hear vehicles go by here, and they're squeaking, scrunching. There's all kinds of noises coming out of their brakes. Yet nobody seems to be paying attention. What are you waiting for? For it to self-heal? Because that ain't going to happen. Because with brakes, it goes from this is going to cost you to this is getting nasty to there's nothing left to work with. What does that mean? I call it the brake gut job. Everything's got to go. I don't know if I did not shoot that video. And it was a 2009 Hyundai Accent, decided for a caliper to start seizing up and locking the brakes on by itself. And that kind of stuff can be avoided by doing brake service. So to answer that question for Kathleen, it's a wide open one. How did I get 169,000 kilometers out of a set of rear brakes on my 1983 Toyota short box four-wheel drive pickup I bought when I was 22 years old? How did that happen? It certainly wasn't from the manufacturer doing something. It certainly wasn't from the brake equipment on it. It certainly wasn't because I lucked out on the lottery and I got the perfect vehicle that, it self-cleans, and, it never needs maintenance and nothing breaks down. That's a pipe dream. So how did I do that? Send me an email with your answers. How do you think that happened? It just happened? I got lucky? You know what the word luck means? Laboring under correct knowledge. So when somebody says, hey, good luck with that, I always go, thank you. Yeah, laboring under correct knowledge. That's what luck means. So did I get lucky to make it to 169,000? And the brakes were still working. But that's when I decided, enough's enough. It's time to do a gut job. I didn't salvage anything. Pulled it all off. Put all brand new back on. That's on my little friend I call Mo. Mo is He's tucked away right now. I was really thinking about him this morning. I miss having a pickup truck around. How many of you like pickup trucks? Even gals. I see a lot of gals go by the studio here. Behemoth trucks. And you see them behind that wheel, and I think it's just so cool that the ladies love pickup trucks. Let me know. Ladies, do you love trucks? What would you prefer? Even fellas, let's see if we can get the fellas enticed in on this question. Send me an email. Put a comment in on any one of my videos because it pops up on my phone. And I try and get to all the comments because it's important to me, is to connect with you. That's why we have Car Connection. So you're not going to get to 169,000 kilometers without touching anything in the brakes. If you have really bad driving habits, that means you are on that brake pedal all the time. Like it's not a brake pedal. It's another leg that you didn't know you have. When you're doing the on it, off it, in city driving, and you're drafting with every vehicle on the highway, and then you got to stand on the brakes because somebody way up there touched their brake pedal, and now you see all the brake lights come on like chiclets. Boom, 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 boom. And you're like right up the backside of the vehicle in front of you, which you should be able to see both rear tires completely hitting the road surface if you're in a safe zone. I'm just saying, because when you ride super close like that, one person makes a mistake and you're not watching, your brakes won't serve you. You are eating the backside of that person's car in a hurry. And the brakes that haven't been serviced since the last time you had a brake job, which is probably 2 years ago, maybe more. So how long do your brakes last? It all depends on your driving habits. It all depends on the products that you have on there. But the products need servicing. Brakes need service all the time. In order to have equal braking all the way around the vehicle on all four corners to prevent you if you should have to create an evasive maneuver because somebody has really pulled a maroon maneuver and you got to get out of there and you need brakes to help you back off to get out of the way, you need them to perform. You need to do maintenance. Now, you're not going to like me, but I'm giving you the big secret on how I got and I continue to get to over 100,000 kilometers out of a set of brakes. Number one, I don't need to beat the next guy to the traffic light. I don't need to beat and win the position on the off-ramp. I don't need to be on and off the brake because I'm practically swapping license plates with the vehicle in front of me. I give myself lots of time to slow down. I pump my brake pedal to take it. I'm very easy on brakes, but I service them twice a year. Every 6 months. In the shop, wheels off, and a full brake service. Pull the calipers off, take the pads out, clean and lubricate everything, and inspect everything and put it all back together. I do that twice a year. That's how you get there. But if you're that person, your vehicle goes in, like the 3 that I saw already this week, when those eventually go in, there won't be anything to save. It's going to be a gut job, brake job, and then you won't see them for the next 2 or 3 years, if you're lucky, till it does it again. So how do I know that'll happen? Because they have a pattern. The pattern is they don't believe in service. So if you want things to last longer and put money back in your pocket, that's the only way you're going to be able to do it, is you got to service. That's why I created the Car Connection maintenance system. It originally came from my checklist that I created when I was doing a lot of fleet maintenance, that I didn't miss anything and forget to service something or check something, because that would get us in trouble with the tender. Next time the tender's up, if the maintenance manager and his sidekick tech finds that we've missed stuff on vehicles that have been in the shop for a whole week, sometimes a month, and that puts you behind for the next tender. You don't have a good track record. You're missing stuff. So that's how I created that. So I follow my own maintenance schedule. I don't just tell you stuff. Skippy will tell you. We were sitting and having morning coffee before and going over the video shoots, and we just got out into the shop and got the microphones and the cameras all going, and she was mumbling away, and then she said, "You really do this stuff?" And I go, "What do you mean, Skippy? Like, everything you're teaching people, you do it for yourself." I go, "Yeah, well, isn't that, what honesty is all about? Not do what I say, not as I do. That's not how I was taught. You have to do it. Teach them by showing them." I said, "That's what my professor taught me. If you want to teach kids to do a job, you got to be willing to do the job yourself. Like cleaning the gutters out in the shop." Jimbo comes in one morning. I'm up to my armpits in the sewer because it's plugged. Because the guys, instead of sweeping up the floor and taking the crud, they would push it into the gutter. So I'm in there because I came into the shop like 5 in the morning, and there's a great big lake in the service bay. Well, it's plugged. I'm in there up to my armpit in black, gooey, whatever. I won't wreck your breakfast. And Jimbo goes, "Niall, what are you doing?" I said, the main gutter's plugged and it's in here. You got to get to the screen and unplug it. "Oh." I said, "Well, stick around and watch because you get to do it next time." "What?" I go, "Yeah, if I'm cleaning toilets, you're cleaning toilets. Everybody gets a turn in the customer waiting area cleaning the bathroom. They were on the schedule. If I'm cleaning toilets, you're cleaning toilets. If I'm sweeping the floor, you're sweeping the floor. If I'm in the drain to clean the drain," because Jimbo smoked, and I knew what he was doing. So I collected all his cigarette butts, and I had set them aside that morning. I said, "Oh, by the way, these are yours." "Oh, those aren't mine. We're not supposed to throw butts in there." I go, "Yeah, they're yours." "Oh." I said, "Busted." I said, "So you're the next man in when this thing plugs up." So anyways, I don't know how I got on that tangent. It was a flashback. It was pretty grody. I'm just going to tell you that. That was a miserable job, but it had to be done. And that's when we had a little meeting, coffee break that morning. I said, "If I see you sweep anything into the gutter, you get to stay and clean the gutter out. If I see any cigarette butts, Jimbo, go into the gutter, you'll be going in the gutter sooner to clean it out." So service. You got to service the brakes. So twice a year, every 6 months, spring and fall are a perfect routine to get into. It takes 21 days to make or break a habit. So you got to create that. And it also means if you want your brakes to work well, that also means the parking brake needs to be used every day, every time you park. And I don't care what the fella says or anybody else. "Oh, well, really don't need to use that." Really? Come and sell me that one in the service bay. Bring it on, brother, because I'll take your lunch and your milk money. If you have vehicles out there that have parking brake, set brake, hand brake, push brake, whatever it is, you better darn well be using it every single time you park. That's how I get to 169,000 kilometers on a rear set of brakes on a 1983 pickup truck. That's how it happens. You got to keep everything working. And the park brake is part of the project. So, Kathleen, great question. It all is determined by you, how long your brakes last. That's the common denominator. Everything I talked about, your lousy driving habits, you're up the backside of the vehicle in front of you. You got to speed past me to get to the traffic light that's turning red. I don't know what you win or if, there's a coupon for that, but your brakes are just heating right up. You're just eating them up. So driving habits, maintenance habits, and using the parking brake will determine how long your vehicles work. I had customers coming in the shop, 8 months, needs brakes again. I kid you not, 8 months, nothing left. It wasn't defective product. It wasn't the installation. 8 months. I could almost put it on the calendar. Oh, so-and-so should be back in here for front brakes. They'll be gone. So number 2, Margaret. Question number 2. That was a big winner, Kathleen. Thanks for asking that, because that's how that goes. I don't have a magic wand or a crystal ball to tell you how long you're going to get out of these things, because I can't. It's those factors I can't control. There's things I can control, and then there's the uncontrollables. So Margaret says, my neighbor tells me my car needs new tires, but he didn't explain why. So I think what she's asking is, how does he know that? Well, he might have a crystal ball and a magic wand. I'm not sure. I can't really say. But we need to keep an eye on that, because the biggest part of the insurance on your vehicle and safety is the distance from the edge of the rim to the road surface. That is the thickness of your tire, the sidewall. That's your safety net. I'm a big stickler on brakes and tires and steering components. If you can't stop it and you can't steer it, nothing else matters. It really doesn't. So your tires need to be inspected on a regular basis. We don't want to get below 330 seconds. 930 seconds is what the tread depth is on your tires. So when you get down to 330 seconds, you're just about at the thickness of a bologna skin. Then that's not enough. When you get into heavy rainfall like we had here yesterday, a tire that's 330 seconds or less, you could very easily hydroplane on that amount of water on the roadway. Very, very easily, because you've just got the thickness of a bologna skin that's helping to clear the treaded surface out on the tires, so your tires get to the road surface and get gripology. So dates. We just had a couple of conversations about that. Dates on the tires. You know, don't go buying tires that are already 3 years old. Look at the date stamp. Well, I don't know what that means. Well, that's why we have the YouTube channel. I did a video on, there's, I think, 2 videos on tires, and it was all prompted by Skippy. She goes, what is all that gobbledygook written on the sidewall of a tire? What does it mean? I said, well, what you really need to pay attention to is the manufacturer's tire pressure specs, and make sure that you have the right road speed tires for your car, and you also need to make sure that they're not old. So if you're paying top dollar for tires that were manufactured 2 years ago, tires, the limit for them is 6 years. So I just checked some tires for Skippy, actually. She was considering buying some tires and some rims from her boss, and I went to look at them, and they were born in the 25th day of 2000. Is that the month? No, it can't be month. Sorry. 25th. I'm getting there. I haven't had coffee yet. Okay, take it easy. Espresso would be nice right now with a little cinnamon in it. 25th week. There, now I got it. 25th week of 2016. How old are those tires? They're 10 years old, man. They're done. They're done. So what are the tires worth? I said, you know, Skippy, you can't give them any money for the tires because they need to come off their junk. They're finished. They're 10 years old. I said they won't pass the safety. If I was doing a safety inspection, we are to look for tread depth, and measure every single tire in 3 locations of the 360 degree circumference, and we are also to look at the production date. So if the tires are past 6 years old, they're done. It's over. She's singing. No doubt about it. So tires are very important. Underinflated, overinflated, that's nasty, either one. If they're over 6 years old, that's nasty, number 2. If you got less than 330 seconds tread depth, that's 3 strikes and you're out. That means those tires are gone. Gone. They got to come off. So that's how you know. And how can you check tread depth yourself if you don't have a tool for it? I do have a tool, a measuring tool, but you can take a penny if you have one, and with the queen's head facing you, you put that in the tread. The more of her head that is showing, her head, not the crown, the more of her head that is showing, the better. That means you got really decent tread depth left. The more of the crown you can see, you got that baloney skin happening. So there's your tread gauge. You get a penny with the queen on it, with her crown. And that's how you measure it in 3 different locations on the tire. So if you look at a tire as a clock face, pick 3 different locations and measure with your penny. And measure across all the treads in that location. I might want to add that in there. All the treads. So all the groovies. Make sure you measure all the groovies from what's facing you to the inside portion of the tire. So get them all the groovies. Take a measurement on all and 3 different locations. So what did I just say? Tires, the 3 strikes. When it was born, how old are the tires? Beyond 6 years? Less than 3/32 of tread depth. And what was the last one? Strike 3? Put it in the comments. I'm checking to see if you're listening. All right. Yeah, put it in the comments. Send me an email. What are the 3 strikes on a tire? Last question, and we'll wrap it up with this. Well, I still have your Motormouth Summer Tech Tip coming up. And we'll have another one on Monday morning, so come and join us. Gina's question. Great question, Margaret. So now you know. And you can watch the videos on our YouTube channel where I break down all the information on a tire. So Gina's asking, I have an older vehicle. It's running well. It's been a great car to me. Should I sell it now while all is good, or before things begin to break down? Suggestions, please. Well, here's the deal. It's kind of like that really comfortable pair of running shoes or blue jeans. When they really feel at their most comfortablest, it's almost time to get rid of them because they're worn out. But a car is different. If it's been good, she mentions that, and I read the emails as they're written. So if there's linguity issues, it's not me, and this is an English class, so forget about it. Here's the thing. If all is well, I don't like using the phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because that's not true. Not in my world. That'll get you upside down and sideways and having to scramble to come up with money to replace a car, and you're broke. I'll just put it just the way it is. And you're broke. And you can't fix the one you have because you're broke. Yeah, that's a problem corner that a lot of people get into, and that's why I've been carving this program out, Car Connection, for how many years now? 32 years, is to help you get past that, because that's where the savings are. The rainbow is there for you. You just got to be willing to work for it. That's all. There's no victory till there's a battle. It's just that simple. So if I got a vehicle like that, it's behaving well. It's tickety-boo. It's performing very, very good. It's not giving me a ton of headaches. I'm not letting that sucker go until I'm ready to let go of it, because that's a moneymaker for you. I mean, if you're bored of the vehicle and you got money to spend, well, that's I can't help you there. That's your choice. That's your choice. And it's all you. But if I've got a vehicle that just needs a little bit of maintenance here and there, you're going to maintain the next one anyway. You're going to maintain the one you finished paying for. You're going to maintain the one you are paying for. So what's the difference? Well, the difference is when I'm not paying interest and principal, I've got freed up cash. I've got freed up capital that I can put into that vehicle that's treating me well. So why would I not keep going? I'd keep going. And so that's my answer to Gina. If you got, and anyone else, you got a ride that's really good and you're loving it, and you're still loving it, keep going. Who says you got to get rid of it? Who? Who says? Exactly. Just keep doing what you're doing because it's working and the vehicle's working out for you. And that's all there is to it. You know, our 99 Honda Civic DX that I bought from the original owner, that's what she did. I got a file folder that's like 3 inches thick. Why? She listened to Car Connection and she probably still does. So, Jillian, if you're listening, appreciate you, girl. You're doing a great job out there. And she understands, and she works with Larry Tetro, and she's learned a lot of stuff. So you're going to get to meet these people because now I'm ready to move to the next level and bring some guests in that are professionals, experts in their field. And you're going to have an opportunity to hear from a different group of people in what they do, how they do it, and some of the pitfalls and some of the good things and some of the not so good things about what they do and how they can help you. So you get a car that's behaving like Gina's saying. I have an older vehicle that's running well. It's been great, a great car to me. Should I sell it now? No. No, you shouldn't. Just keep going, girl. Whatever you're doing, you're on the right track and you're putting money back in your pocket. And you're not working to make principal payments and interest payments on a piece of sheet metal and rubber. Because you know what? Life is not about buying things to impress people we don't even know, we don't even like. That's the talking heads. That's the media. That's the marketing. That's the trap, folks. That is the trap. So great questions. Let's get into our Motormouth Summer Tech Tip, and then I got to get out of here because I got work to do down on the shop floor. I've got a cleanup job, and I got to finish off that pressure washer that I brought back to life. And I got 2 things to finish on that, and it's ready to go home. Battery blues in the heat. Most folks think cold kills batteries. But hot weather, it's sneakier. That heat evaporates the fluid inside, and bam, your battery gives up on life. Pop the hood, check for corrosion on the terminals. And corrosion, folks, is not the green mombies anymore. That's what I nicknamed it like 40 years ago. Corrosion is when a shiny penny turns gray. That's corrosion in today's electronics. That's corrosion. Cannot have that. So if you got crusty green mombi terminals on your battery, that's like beyond, above and beyondo. So check for corrosion on the terminals, and if your battery's older than your gym membership, might be time to replace it. The average lifespan for a battery, folks, especially leaving the factory, if it's a domestic car, I can tell you 2 to 3 years, and it's junk. On an import or a European car, they go beyond 5. And the original battery, no, that wasn't the original. That was a replacement. When I bought the 07 FJ Cruiser, that battery lasted 9 years. The lady replaced it just before I bought it, and bought a Toyota battery, and I got 9 years out of that battery. That's impressive. And I see that a lot. For some reason, you will never see that kind of time frame on a battery out of any domestic vehicle. Not usually. Not usually. When it comes to buying batteries, that's when I'm super picky, because I don't want to be left somewhere. And I've gotten to know batteries from different companies that just don't cut the mustard. And in fact, I do have a battery pile that has to get turned in. And I look at the brands on the skid of dead batteries. And it gives you a good indicator whose product is working and whose product is failing. So I leave you with that. Have yourself a fantastic, marvelous weekend. Get out there and do stuff. If you're on vacation listening to this podcast, have a great time. Remember, no fish if there's no pictures. Just saying. Yeah. And no AI, because I can tell you if it's AI. Yeah. Just talk to some of these young kids. They'll go, oh, that's AI. How do you know? Oh, you just have to look for this. Oh, I'm on it. Yeah, excellent. So enjoy your weekend. Happy, healthy motoring. Be safe out there. Peace, patience, and kindness always. And we'll see you Monday morning for another edition of Motormouth's Morning Drive. Have yourself a great time. Be safe out there in whatever you're doing. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.